starting with number 10 and working our way down to number 1. My number 10 of my favorite games ever is Gears of War. Now, Gears of War definitely brought me, or made me interested in console shooters. Before, I'd always played just a bunch of PC shooters growing up, and I never found the appeal of them on a console. Like, I remember when Halo came out, everybody thought it was the best shooter ever, and it's like, really? Did you ever play, like, Quake or Marathon or any of these other games on PC? I mean, it's kind of the same thing we've been playing on PC for a while, guys. So yeah, I didn't really get into Halo at all. But Gears changed that for me. Gears really opened my eyes to what the console can bring in a shooter. And also, Gears had this really awesome, like, environment and just the overall feeling and the story and the characters all came together to make a really good game. Number 9, I go back and forth with. Sometimes I want to say Super Mario Galaxy, other times I want to say Super Mario Sunshine. Both really, really great Mario. A really innovative and creative game. Like a game that's so creative that we still haven't seen a game like it since. I would really like to see a sequel to Eternal Darkness. I'm just not sure if anybody could do it right. But if you haven't played Eternal Darkness, you've got a Wii or a GameCube, overlook the graphics, because come on guys, graphics don't make the great game. Graphics are a bonus. And get Eternal Darkness. It should be really cheap now, and you will not regret it, because it is an amazing game. My number 7 is a game I'm sure is on a lot of people's list, that's Super Mario Bros. 3. Super Mario Bros. 3 just kind of redefined the whole platform genre. And even today, that game still holds up as an amazing game. I can still play it now and have just as much fun as I did when I was younger. And it was also a lot of fun because it was one of the first games me and my younger sister could play together. She's not a gamer, she really has never been. But we could play Mario 3 together, which was really cool. I'd always play Mario and she'd play Luigi. Or I'd have friends over and we could play together and we would both be able to, hand off the controller to each other and everything. It was just a really cool dynamic, and the game overall just had this special, like, magic to it that made it so much fun. And the fact that a game that's that old still holds up as an amazing game by today's standards, just goes without saying that everybody would enjoy Super Mario 3. Number 6 is a newer game. It's Dragon Age Origins. I'm sure you guys didn't see that coming. I was never a really big fan of any kind of RPG or the fantasy-based style of games, except for Champions and Norath. Now we're into my top 5 favorite video games of all time. So this is when we get into the ones that I usually, when people ask what's my favorite video games of all time, I tell them a pretty good chunk of these, because these are the games that I would say shaped me as a gamer. My number 5 is Silent Hill 2. I'm a big survival horror fan. The scarier the better. And Silent Hill 2 is still on my top favorite survival horror game list. Like, Silent Hill 1 was amazing, and it was definitely a first of its kind. But Silent Hill 2 did everything Silent Hill did right, but perfected it. Silent Hill 3 was good, 4 was awful, Homecoming not that great either. And so I'm a little bit curious about Down 4, which will be coming out later this year. But overall, out of the Silent Hill franchise, 2 was definitely the best. They completely got the whole just creepy feeling of the environment, just making me feel really uncomfortable throughout the game. There were times I wouldn't even want to go through a door just because I knew what was beyond that door, And also, Pyramid Head is one of my favorite bad guys in a video game. He's just terrifying, especially because you can hear him before you can see him. And when you do see him, he's just a very scary figure with that big-ass blade. So yeah, Silent Hill 2 definitely completely dominates the spot of number 5. Staying with the survival horror theme, we're going to go with number 4 as Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame is still the game I would say is the scariest game I've ever played. I just mentioned brutality in Fatal Frame, so let's go with one of my favorite brutal games, God of War. I have a hard time picking my favorite out of the series, in between 1 and 3. One, because it was something I'd never seen before, and it really took a mixture of platforming and action-adventure and hack and slash and just kind of blended it all together and married it so well. And the brutality in the God of War series and the threesomes, the sex scenes, and all together just come together as this awesome game series. As you know, Kratos is my favorite video game character, and his character alone just dominates and requires so much just presence. I don't know anybody who's played God of War that did not just walk away from it going, oh my god, that game was amazing. Number 2 is BioShock. BioShock 1 I know had some problems. The main one being you couldn't dual wield, and they definitely fixed that with BioShock 2. But BioShock really paid attention to the details, like really paid attention to the details. Every little thing in that game was to perfection, in my opinion. Not to mention the story, which completely blew my mind. I don't know anybody that played BioShock that saw that ending coming. You know, if you haven't played BioShock yet, what are you waiting for? Play this game. I hope you haven't had the ending ruined for you yet. But nobody saw that coming. It blew all of our minds because it wasn't the same generic type of story we see in so many video games where everything's kind of straightforward. You have little mini boss fights at the end. You have big boss fight, you know, you save the princess. It was so different from that. So different. And it was the music and the setting, the environment. All of that together brings me to my #1 top favorite video game of all time. And I'm pretty sure that all of you out there seeing this coming, but it's Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 gets my favorite spot on this list because it's the definition of perfection in a video game. Every little detail came together to create this just amazing experience that really blew most of us away.